What's up, NIO family? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this, I want to break down why NIO has a bullish setup so far. What's happening with the market is there could be a squeeze tomorrow after big news just came out involving President Trump. What you should be watching for as time goes on. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 25 in total. Deposit $5,000 and you're guaranteed 60 free stocks. You also qualified for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, and the offer ends in just about 4 days from now. Anyways, as far as NIO is going, we have a very, very clear left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder forming an inverse head and shoulders. This could cause a very, very nice bounce, especially as the whole market may start pumping after some big news that just came out. Looking at NIO from a technical standpoint, Goldman Sachs is neutral for us, but the price-price ratio is climbing, which shows that NIO is building some strength. On top of this, we also have some news about how NIO's CEO is talking with someone known as Mr. Zhang about the ET9 and its benefits, such as the fact that it's very luxurious and it's going to be very, very awesome for them. So that's some great news, at least so far for NIO, especially with their Onvo L90 still getting lots of attention. We're going to look to see what happens this week with sales coming out. And then for tomorrow, we do have some data coming up. We have some manufacturing numbers at 10:30 a.m. Besides that, everything else is going to be quite minor. But the reason why the market may squeeze is because of this news. President Trump has announced a massive trade deal with the European Union. He's talking about how the European Union is going to be investing $600 billion into the US, buy $750 billion of American energy products, and purchase the vast amounts of weapons as part of the trade deal that sets a 15% tariff. It comes a week after a similar agreement with Japan was made. This is once again some big news. So, big news, if we get these massive investments into the US, this could be very, very big for the stock market. And then on top of this, President Trump was also talking about how there could be a deal with China coming out within the next 4 days. He talked about Japan. He told us there was a 50-50 chance of this happening with the EU by this weekend, and it happened. Now he's saying that although China is, possible, they're a little bit less willing to cave in with some demands, but there could be a deal coming. President Trump also went on about how the European Union has agreed to lower tariffs to 15%. So they're going to pay about 15% tariffs instead of 30%. That's another good piece of news for them. So we have the European Union being done with. We also have this news about them once again trying to continue to trade and invest more. And then there could be some news about India. India is also open to forming a deal within the next couple of days, possibly, according to what we're hearing from the commerce minister. And then you also have China. So that's some big news. These are some of the major partners of the US when it comes to trade. Big news, in my personal opinion. This week we have FOMC. The Fed will likely keep rates the same, so we'll see what happens. And we also have big tech earnings. We have the big stocks. We have SoFi and PayPal announcing earnings on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have Meta and Microsoft. And Thursday, we have Apple and Amazon. So with that being said, this is the setup I'm looking for NIO. Now we have a potential inverse head and shoulders forming here, so we're trying to break out of this falling wedge, which would take us up to about 5.25 or above. But if we end up losing 4.73, we're looking for a big dump right over here. I think the inverse head and shoulders looks quite solid, and we're going to be favoring once again some more upside. Looking at this, at least so far, this looks like a nice accumulation, and this would likely take us to 5.25 or above. As long as we don't lose 4.73, I think we're looking quite bullish on NIO. And the 4-hour is also favoring the upwards direction, so I think we're looking fantastic. On SPY, we're very, very bullish. I think we easily break all-time highs, looking for 640. Looking great so far. I think the trade deal by President Trump is going to launch us even higher. QQQ is breaking highs. As long as we don't lose 564, we're favoring more upside. For 568 to 570, we're still looking bullish. The Russell, so long as we don't lose 222, we're going to be favoring an attempt for 226. ES is looking bullish. We're going to see if this gaps up again. It's going to likely continue to favor 64.60 or above. NQ is bullish for now. We're looking for 21,500 as our potential target. We're still bullish. Bitcoin is favoring 120,000. Tesla's trying to bounce in the 4-hour. I want to see us make a higher low and not lose 310 as long as we could hold this. I want to see us also get back above 318. If we break 318 and continue, we're looking for an attempt for the 320s all the way back up to 330. Nvda might be dipping towards 172, and we'll see if we bounce. Apple's consolidating. If we end up losing 213, we're looking for a dip to 212. I think we might consolidate and bounce for 215. Um, Netflix also has kind of like an inverse head and shoulders. We could be looking for basically 1200. AMD is also looking a little bit more bullish as long as we don't end up losing basically 165. We're favoring 168 to 170. PayPal is also looking a bit more bullish. As long as we don't end up losing 76, I think we could be dipping to 77. Then we'll see if we bounce. Coinbase is also looking a little bit more bullish. We have a potential flag forming here. Might be looking for a retest of 385, but notice that we're trying to hold support here. We could dip a little bit, then I'm going to be looking for a bounce for 399. I think it might try to bounce from here. Amazon might be retesting 229. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. Might dip a little bit before earnings, but of course, earnings will have a bigger effect on what it's going to be doing. Meta is making higher lows. As long as we continue this trend, we're looking for an attempt for 720. Google's looking more bullish to me. As long as we don't lose 192, we could be looking for a bounce. Microsoft still looks more bullish, favoring 518, so keep that in mind. We're looking quite solid right now. The VIX is also dipping right here. It's still looking bearish as the market could be going a bit higher. So please keep that in mind. So far, we're looking quite solid. And this upside in the markets could help NIO continue to push. We'll see what happens between the US and China if there's some kind of deal that's signed, and we'll have to see what happens. But for now, NIO does remain bullish. Look at the green line. As long as we're above this green line at 4.79, we're favoring upside. We're still riding the green line up, so this could be favoring not all-time highs, sorry, new highs compared to the trend we're currently in. To get to all-time highs, it's going to take years for NIO to get there, but just keep in mind for the short term, we are bullish for now. We're just going to focus on the short term for the time being. Thank you for listening. Peace out.